Good evening. Last week, we spoke about 3 places that the Jewish nation owned legally that was bought by our father, that the Gemara said that no other nation has the right to claim ownership on those 3 places. Do you remember which one? מערת המכפלה, קבר יוסף, and not קבר רחל, הר המוריה, הר הבית, הר המוריה, the Moriah mountain, where the Bet HaMikdash was. So the question is, it's very interesting because if you review in the world, you find that the 3 places that the whole world contests and try to grab it from the Jews are those 3 places. And they actually did. The Arabs stole Kever Yosef from us. They stole from us the Har HaMoriah. They made the mosque over there. Right? And what we see now, Hashem is showing us the world of lies, Olam HaSheker, how it goes. But one thing is very interesting. When David HaMelech, he went to buy the mountain, this was after Yaakov Avinu had the dream over there. And this is after Avraham Avinu took Yitzchak to the Akedah on Har HaMoriah, the Moriah mountain. For only 300 years later, someone had in mind to go and buy the property. Isn't it shocking? If it would happen in our generation, that there would be such a tremendous thing on some mountain that owned by someone. Let's say there's a property, there's a mountain, and a revelation happened there. And the chief rabbi of Israel had a special dream over there that they told him in Shamayim, this is the gate to heaven. Wouldn't one of the Jewish billionaires would put $3, $4, $5 million and buy the mountain from him? It took 300 years. Nobody ever thought of it. Did you ever hear such a Dvar Torah in your life? I was thinking now from my car to here to start my lecture with this. But then when I started to go in my mind how to start, I say to myself, wait a minute, what's going on here? 300 years until David HaMelech bought it. When Avraham Avinu was there, was it owned by someone or no? It cannot be. Why? Hashem is not a thief. If Hashem said to Avraham Avinu, go to the place I'll show you, and he showed him the mountain, and he said, go and take Yitzchak over there. If it was private property, you have permission to walk on private property, it's stealing. If you walk on someone's grass without permission, if he's your friend, you know he doesn't care, it's not stealing. If it's some stranger, you want to cut from his backyard, whatever, without permission. We're not talking about that he made a path and everyone is using. Fine, he already shows that he doesn't mind. But someone's property, you want to go behind his back and cut. It's considered stealing. It's called hasagat gvul, masig gvul. Will Hashem say to Avraham Avinu to go to someone's property and enter over there without permission? Definitely it cannot be. So what do we see from here? That the Moriah mountain, Har HaMoriah, was not owned by anyone in the time of Avraham Avinu. And when Yaakov Avinu went there, and he said, a place that my grandfather was here, and my father, I won't go there. And he went to sleep there. If it was something that belongs to someone by the time of Yaakov, how could he sleep in someone's property? Yaakov Isha Emet, the tzaddik, obviously wasn't owned by anyone still. From then until David HaMelech bought it, we don't know the history of the place. Maybe there are midrashim who speaks about it, I don't know. But to the best of my knowledge, I never heard once in 20 years that anybody speaks about what happened from the time that Yaakov had his dream over there with the angels go up and down the ladder to the time that David HaMelech bought it from Arvana Yevusi. But let me explain to you what I'm talking about. In the time of David HaMelech, there was an epidemic. There's an epidemic. People become sick and die. David came to Arnan HaYevusi, and he said to him, after it was instructed by an angel, he said, let me buy this place, Mekom HaGoren, that I should build an altar to God. I will pay you full price, no discount. Tell me how much. Because I know once I'm going to sacrifice here, he knew the significance of the place, David HaMelech. This is the gate of heaven, the Sha'ar HaShamayim. He said, I know that once I'm going to do it, the epidemic will stop from the nation. Arnan said to David, take everything for free. It's a very big mountain. It's 400 meter by 400 meter. 1 meter is 3 feet. 1,200 feet multiplied by 1,200 feet. It's 14,000, approximately 14,000 more 140,000 square feet. It's a very big place. It's like 4 or 5 football fields. Very big. Imagine now you go to buy it in Yerushalayim. Forget that it's a holy place. Just buy a lot like this in Yerushalayim would cost you $500 million. Minimum, $500 million. But back in the time, real estate wasn't hot like today. It's still worth $5 million, let's say. No? Still a lot of money. No, you cannot say that it was a lollipop. Give me 5 cents and go. It was a very substantial thing. Such a big place. He said to David HaMelech, take it for free. No problem. Gam adama vegam parim. He said, I'm going to give you the cows also. Etzim vechitim lemincha. I'm going to give you the woods that you need to put the fire on. I'm going to give you the fire. I'm going to give you the cows that you need to sacrifice. Everything I'm going to give you. And David answered him, no. I'm going to buy it with full price. 100%, whatever it's worth. מה? כי לא אשא אשר לך להשם לעלות עולה חינם. ויתן דוד לארנן במקום שקלי זהב משקל 600 coins of gold. Let's say a coin of gold can be 1 ounce. 1 ounce, 16 coins is 1 pound, let's say. 1 ounce of gold today is about $1,300. 1 ounce. So $1,300 multiply by 600. You know, here you know, now you know the price, what David paid him. Still a lot of money. Not $500 million, but still a lot of money. So he paid him full price. What did David say to him? No, I'm not going to sacrifice for free. It's worthless. When you do mitzvah for free, doesn't have anything. In other words, if somebody gives you aliyah, you go up to the Torah, he pays the money. He has the mitzvah. Fine, you made bracha to Hashem, fine, very nice. But who really gets the big reward here? Someone that went up to the Torah, or someone that actually paid all the money? Especially Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and he respects someone to go up to the Torah. From Tzara Agra, someone that works and sweat for the money. Not a person that get up with his suit, make 5 steps and say 5 words. The one that pays the money. This is very interesting, because here you can see that someone that gives money for Torah. Somebody sits and learns Torah. To learn Torah, it's not easy. It's very hard. But to work is also very hard. To work is very hard. So a person work, then he takes $500, let's say, and he gives it to sponsor an avrech in the yeshiva in Yerushalayim. $500. And the avrech learns all month. how much a person worked very hard for this $500. Let's say it takes him 3 days of work, from morning to night. That's how it counts, that he sacrificed every month 3 days of his life for Hashem. Then, of course, he gets all the reward of the Torah. How do we know it? How do we know that a person that gives $500 to a person that learns Torah all month, he actually has a share in his entire Torah? How do we know? Maybe the rabbis made it up because they want donations. How do you know it's really true? Maybe Hashem only gives you according to the hours of efforts and he counts it as a regular tzedakah. How do you know that you get a reward from actually what the Avrech learns in a kollel all month? The answer is, in life, Hashem pays the person not according to his actions only. He pays a person according to the fruits of his action. There is a verse, pasuk, Meshalem la'adam kepri ma'alalav. Pri means fruit. The fruits of your efforts. Now you put an effort, you make a hole in the ground, you put seeds, you put water, the tree grows, you trim it, you take care of it, you fertilize it, you work. One day the fruit's starting to come out. Over the years, you made $1 million from oranges or whatever the fruit was. The X amount of investment, Hashem doesn't pay you based on how many hours you work on a tree. Because if He paid you for how many hours you put on that specific tree, how many hours you work? 20 hours? Multiply by $15 an hour, $300, that should have been your reward. No, you made $1 million. And your children and grandchildren, and 500 years later, the grandchildren of yours are continuing to benefit from the efforts that you did. Why? It's reality. That's one proof. I'm trying to remember from the top of my head. I'm sure I'm not going to remember all the sources, but I'll give you enough to convince you. Second proof, that the prophet Yirmiyahu, he said to Hashem, when a stingy person finally agreed to give donation, finally, make sure you send him a crook to get the donation from him. Not an honest, decent person that is going to do something positive with the money. Send him a crook. Why the prophet gives such a curse to someone who finally agreed to open his wallet and give some money to a charitable cause? Why? The answer is because when you give charity, it gives you a huge profit. Khuli truma. It doesn't mean that you give, you take. You take from me, Hashem say. By giving to what I say to give, you're actually taking for yourself. You're not giving. So therefore, I don't want everyone to take from me. Not everyone has the merit. So the prophet say, someone who's generous and he cares for the poor and he cares to support Torah and to make people Baalei Tshuva, he does a lot of great things. So someone like that, when finally there's an opportunity to invest, make sure kosher people come to them. But someone that doesn't care, they're cruel, selfish, stingy, once in a blue moon they agree to give. Make sure that when they're finally in the mood to give, that they will give to someone that is a crook. The question is, what do we care who they give? I did what I had to do. You say to give charity, I gave. The rest is not in my problem. What do I care what happened with the money? I gave. Somebody came and asked me for donation. I gave it to him. Finished. I made a mitzvah, no? From here we learn that the most important reward in a donation and charity is what came out of your money. Of course, it's important how you gave. Of course, it's important how much you gave compared to how much you can give. Some people give more than what they can. Some people don't even give nothing compared to what they can. So if you gave it with lots of good intention, with good heart, and you're happy that you're giving, and you give generously, of course, this is all great points. But if nothing productive happened with your money, the main reward you don't have. You don't get a punishment, because sometimes you really deserve a punishment. For instance, if someone comes to you and knock on your minivan, excuse me, can you spare change? Then you know what he needs, the $5 that you're going to give him to go make a scene, no? Giving him is not exactly wise. So I give you food if you want. Here, I have a sandwich here. Take it. Come, I'll take you to the pizza shop. I'll buy you 2 slices and a drink. That's a different story. Giving him money, it's not exactly wise. So the idea is that what came out of your money, that's the main thing. Otherwise, why the prophet said that crooks would come? If it doesn't make a difference, doesn't matter who took it. For him, he gets full reward. So from here we see that if you give your money to a good cause and to the right person, that's how lucky you are. And if you didn't, basically almost nothing good comes out of it. This is another proof. You see over here, what other example I can give you? The Torah said that Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu to teach the Leviim, the Levites, what service to do in Bet HaMikdash, in the Korbanot, what they have to do. They have different things that they have to do. After Moshe told the Leviim exactly what needs to be done, the Torah say, and the nation of Israel did everything as Hashem instructed them to do. So the Torah say, wait a minute, what does it have to do with the nation of Israel? It was a direct instructions to the Leviim, not to the nation of Israel. Nothing to do with regular Israelites. And only to the Levites. Special job for them only. Why the Torah say and the entire nation did what Hashem say, instructed them to do? Because who sponsored the Leviim? Who gave them 10% from their income? The entire nation of Israel. They gave the Leviim money that they can live and take care of their family and their needs. And as results, they were participating in the merit and the reward of everything that the Leviim did. 100% like you did it. That's very good. So now you can see that if you support Torah, you get also Torah. You count like you get Torah. There is a question about Issachar and Zvulun. Issachar and Zvulun. Issachar is learning Torah, and Zvulun is a businessman. He has boats, he's trading. Issachar and Zvulun. So the question is, why Zvulun did not want to be like Issachar Talmid Yeshiva? Why? Why only Issachar wanted to be Yoshev Ohalim to learn Torah, and Zvulun wanted to be the businessman that sponsored the Torah? Didn't Zvulun know that it's much better to be an Avrech Kollel than to be a businessman in 47th Street? Or in the ocean? Well, he didn't know. There's nothing to compare. Well, you compare a businessman that gives donation to someone who was actually a Talmid Chacham that learns Torah? Why would he want it? And plus we see that from the blessing of Yaakov gave the blessing to all the tribes. The natural blessing for Issachar was that he's learning Torah. And the natural blessing of Zvulun was to be productive and to make business. That they should have, Baruch Hashem, a lot of business. So what's the answer? The answer is, like this. In the book of Ayelet HaShachar, in Parashat Vezot HaBracha, that's when Yaakov gave all the blessing. This is what he wrote. No, Parashat Vezot HaBracha. Yes, the blessing of Moshe. Thank you. So it says like this. Adam shetomech b'Torah, person that supports Torah, מקבל את השפעת התורה. not only receive the reward for the actual learning of the Torah of someone else, he gets the influence of the Torah. The influence of the Torah. What does it mean, the influence of the Torah? If he's an ignorant person, he's still an ignorant person. If you sponsor the entire yeshiva, 100 people sit and learn Torah for the whole year, do you know one verse more than the Torah than before? You're not learning. You go to work. Are you becoming a bigger Talmid Chacham? You're the same ignorant person. You have millions of earnings, but you still do not know how to read. Nothing. You don't know Gemara, you don't know how to open, you don't know how to understand the meaning. It's complete Amaret. What does it mean he gets the influence of the Torah? What does it mean? Give me an idea what he means by that. The answer is, במה זה מתבטא שמקבל השפעה? What does it mean that he receive the influence of the Torah? אם אינו לומד תורה. The answer, that is lifting him up spiritually. Yes, he doesn't know more Torah, but he has more kirva l'Kadosh Baruch Hu. Is closer to Hashem because of this merit. The question is, when? In this world or in the next world? People that give a lot of donations to yeshivot, did you see from the time they started to sponsor the yeshivot that they became more religious? In reality, do you see that there is any formula like this? That the more money you give, the more religious you become? There is a question, if a criminal wants to give a rabbi donation, he's a well-known criminal, is he allowed to accept from him or no? You just came now? You just came? No, you don't. I'm just, how long are you here? You just came. You came 5 minutes late. Exactly what I said 5 minutes ago. He said the words of the prophet Yirmiyahu, "Achshilim b'bnei Adam she'enam muganim." We spoke about it from the beginning of the lecture. Next time, be on time. Chazak Baruch. So, the point is, a person comes and gives you a nice check, and is well known as a criminal. You're allowed to accept from him or no? I'm not talking about if it's recommended or not. I'm asking if you receive from here, did you violate the rules of the Torah, yes or no? I can already tell you that the Baba Sali Tzaddik, Alav Shalom, someone that was not Shomer Shabbat or anything like that, that used to give him money, he refused to take it. Then somebody else told me, no, he didn't refuse, he took it, but he was using it for the toilet paper. One way or the other. Why? Still need to buy toilet paper, cleaning stuff, maybe tea, coffee, to clean the floor by the maid. You have other maintenance. He was using it for that, but for the actual Torah, only superb, clean, blessed money. So the question is, we are not Baba Sali, because people like Baba Sali, you cannot learn the law from them, because they always go a few steps above the law. So it's called Midat Hasidut. What we need to know what the official law. What's the official law? Somebody now give you money. So the rule is, the rule is like this. If you know that this person, every penny of his money is stolen or not kosher, you're not allowed to take from him. But if you also have legit businesses, yes, he's a criminal, but he also maybe have a restaurant, maybe he has other income that he makes, not everything is stolen. So even though the majority is not clean and not kosher, but some of his money is kosher, you're allowed to accept from him and say, the money that I took came from the clean portion, not from the dirty. That's halakha in Shulchan Aruch. Tolim bakasher. No problem. So you're allowed. The question is why? Why you take from a criminal money? Let him get out of here. Just get out. I don't want to even see you. What do I want? Your money? Go become a tzaddik, then come back to me. Why the Torah allowed to take from him?
To allow him to be it's like giving religious. Giving him a chance in the future to do the tshuva.
Very good. Baruch Hashem is waking up. So the answer is, see, it's good for you to come to Monsi from time to time. So the answer is, by taking money from a criminal or from a sinner, you're actually giving him a merit to become a Baal Tshuva. Why? Because you don't become a Baal Tshuva accidentally. You need some kind of a merit. Sometimes it's the merit of your father. You have a very big father tzaddik that passed away, or grandfather. They begging Hashem, it's called Zchut Avot. So for them, Hashem gives the grandson an opportunity to see the truth. So he gets the right CD in the right moment. It's all Hashgacha. Somebody that doesn't have Zchut, 20, 30 years, Hashem does not give him one opportunity to do tshuva. Nothing. That doesn't hear a lecture. Nobody calls him to come. Nothing. His business is booming. Everything is fine. Hashem is not shaking him up. If the criminal gives you money, right away when the Satan comes on Rosh Hashanah and say to Hashem, wait a minute, what merit this guy has that you're giving him an opportunity that the rabbi invited him for Shabbat? How can it be? So the answer is, Hashem comes and says, look, he just gave donation. So it's not so bad after all. It's good and bad mixed, like most people. This is giving him an opportunity to do tshuva. Now I ask a question. The influence of supporting Torah is in this world or in the next world? Or in both? The answer is, in the book of Rav Chaim, the book of Avi HaYeshivot, that speaks about Rab Chaim Volozhin, the famous student of the Gaon Mivilna that lived 220, 230 years ago. He writes, Rab Chaim Volozhin, that someone that supports Torah has the merit to learn Torah in the level that the people that he supported in the same section in heaven, in the next world. How come? He's not worthy to enter such level. He wasn't Amel Batorah. Because thanks to him, these people became who they are, they're actually pushing them with him. Now you may ask, but still he won't understand anything over there. He's going to sit in yeshiva. No, if they take the gvir now, they put him in yeshiva, he's going to sit. You know, I have a person that the majority of the support to my yeshiva in Yerushalayim come from him. One person. And a few times he went to Yerushalayim and he likes to go visit the Bachurim. And he's not a foolish guy. He reads books, he learns a lot of Torah. Every time he goes to my yeshiva in Yerushalayim, he sits there with the Bachurim. After 15, 20 minutes, he gets up and leaves. So why you left so quick? I don't understand anything what they talk about. This is Chinese for me. This, Gemarot, this, that. It's not my league, Rabbi. Baruch Hashem, I came, I saw everything. Come to protect his investment. You understand? So, but Rav Chaim Volozhin said that in Olam Haba, he will be able to learn Torah ba'olam haba. Next, I ask, the Hashpa'ah is in this world or in the next world? The answer, what difference does it make? Eventually you get the Hashpa'ah, so what do you worry? Now or another 60 years, ma? You get it, it's yours. Then we have another question. It does make a difference. Why? Because we see in this world that a lot of people that support Torah, they're not becoming any more religious. The answer, because they don't really want to give. They give only when you pressure them. If they give without pressuring, I'll give you an example. We have a yeshiva in Monsi, Or Israel Yeshiva, 30 years, Baalei Tshuva. Hundreds of people passed there over the years. At least 50 of them are big rabbis in Israel today. At least. From the top of my head. one year after the other. And many others that are religious people. So the yeshiva, it always runs by miracles. Always before the end of the month, you need a serious budget. You have teachers, electric, dorms, hot water, a lot of expenses. So all the time there is money shortage. So the electric bill comes for 2 months, $5,000, $6,000, whatever it is. It's a massive factory. The whole yeshiva and the rooms upstairs, non-stop electric. It comes thousands of dollars. Sometimes the yeshiva doesn't have money to pay the electric, so now they get this red notice. You have, 6 days before they shut the electric. And everybody learns extra special because soon it's going to be dark. What are we going to do? And the miracle happens. So now a few days ago, the guys asked me, can I put on your Facebook page a copy of the final notice from the electric bill? Maybe some merciful people would have mercy. I said, of course. We put it on the Facebook. 7 people wanted to help, Baruch Hashem. They said, how do we give? So the same person that ran around, he went to one place, and the guy said, what? I know the rabbi. He knows me. How come he never called me to tell me that he's in such a bad financial situation? Why? Why do I have to hear from it from the streets, from you? He couldn't call me? So he picked up the phone and he called him. Rabbi, you know me. What, you're embarrassed to tell me that you're in such financial problems? But that rabbi, he never goes to anyone for money. He has a rule. He lives with miracles. He said, no, Baruch Hashem, Hashem helps. We always manage in the end. So he said to him, okay, how much you collected? He said, about 70% from the bill I collected already. He said, no, I want to give you the whole bill. I don't care how much you collected. I insist to give you the whole bill. He could have taken advantage. Oh, okay, so most of the money you have here is $500. Now you have what you need, goodbye. No, I want to give. You understand? Somebody like this, be'emet tzaddik, he gets the hashpah in this world as well. Some people, they say, go to everyone, whatever you collect, fine, the rest you come to me. Or I know one billionaire who he says to someone, please only come to me when it's emergency. So he said to him, it's everyday emergency. He said, no, you know what I mean. When you tried everything and tomorrow you finished, come to me, I'll give you what you need. But only an emergency. So I said to him, okay, it's also good. At least you have an umbrella insurance. If your regular insurance do not work, you have where to go. So the Gemara in Kiddushin say, Barati Yetzer Hara, Barati Lo Torah Tavlin. Page 30, Kiddushin. This Yetzer Hara that Hashem created can be only defeated by Torah. Now one question I have. Someone that supports Torah, the Torah that he supports protect him against his Yetzer Hara or no? Or it's only to those who actually learn Torah?
Only those who learn.
To a certain extent.
No?
I think they have 50%.
No learn, no protection.
The Chafetz Chaim says, the same way you have influence of the holiness of Torah on the learner, you also have it on the supporter of the Torah. And the question we have to ask, what if he's Mechalel Shabbat? There are Mechalelei Shabbat that supports Torah, believe it or not. They give donation to relax their conscience. They suffer, look at me, what I became. So they give checks to the yeshivot. So somebody like that, it's going to help him or no? What do you think? In one hand, he supports Torah. On the other hand, he is considered a goy. Mechalel Shabbat is 100% like a goy. That leads us to the next question. What happens if Ahmed supports Torah? You laughing? I have 3 Ahmeds like this that sends donations. 3 Arabs. They say, I want to have a share of bringing the children of God to be religious. You have to see.
They don't believe in God, the Arabs.
Huh?
But they don't believe in himself.
Not every Arab is Muslim. And plus, even if he's Muslim, not every Arab hates Jews. The vast majority does. But you always have tzaddik echad besdom here and there. In San Francisco, you have few tzaddikim, you know. Also in a village. You know. So there are, percentage-wise, you're right. It's not even 1% maybe. It's enough. If you take 1% of the Arab people in the world and they are Hasidei Umot Olam, you know how many you're talking here about? There are 1.5 billion people. So 10% is 150 million. 1% is 15 million. More than the entire Jewish people in the world. If 1% of the Arabs are righteous, do not hate Jews, and love God and believe in one God, and don't follow Islam, they just keep the 7 laws of Noah, they are already more than the entire Jewish nation.
You have electricity for life.
The answer is, where do we learn that someone that supports Torah has an influence as well in this world? What is the source? A proof, not philosophical argument. A proof. Huh? In Shulchan Aruch, in Yoreh De'ah, Siman Resh Mem Vav, 246. This is what it says. Kol ish miYisrael chayav betalmud Torah. Every Jew, it's also the words of the Rambam, every Jew from Israel, talking about the men, chayav betalmud Torah, must learn Torah, ben be'ani, ben be'ashir, whether he's poor, whether he's rich, ben shalem begufo, ben ba'al isurim, whether he's healthy or whether he's full of suffering. Ben bebachur, ben bezaken, whether he's young, whether he's old. Afilu ani amechazer al aptachim. Even a poor person, a beggar, he comes and knocks on doors, give me something to eat for my children, you know. Afilu ba'al isha uvanim. What's the chidush? Afilu ba'al isha uvanim. Even someone that has a wife and children. What's so significant about it? So far, if he's a young person, he has to learn Torah. If he's an old person, he has to learn Torah. Poor person who collects charity has to learn Torah. That's chidush. You may come and say, leave him alone, poor guy. All day he's collecting quarter by quarter. By the end of the day, finally will collect enough money to survive today. And tomorrow the same torture. And the next day the same torture. Leave him alone. What does he need to learn Torah? But somebody that has a wife and children, what is the chidush here? Afilu ba'al isha uvanim. That you have a family to take care of. Must learn Torah. Must set up time to learn Torah. Bayom uvalayla, days and night. Not only in the day and not only at night. In the day and in the night. Make up your own hours. But learn in the day and learn in the night. Why do we have the word afilu? Afilu. Even someone that has a wife and children. Because when a person has a wife, immediately become a prisoner. No offense. Where does it say it in the Torah? Huh? Listen to my last night lecture. It's online. You can go and you see from the Torah. Baal HaTurim makes a drasha. When a person get married, it's like putting handcuffs on his hand. Not that it's bad to get married. Without it, you're incomplete. You must get married. And the Torah gives a lot of compliments. Here, you have right here. You have right here. You can see it here. Right there. Here. You have 3 chairs left here. That's it. Not that it's bad. When a person doesn't get married, he's incomplete. Needs to get married, needs to have children. The chidush is that a person signs in a ketubah that is going to help his wife, to support her, to support the family. He may thought, I have a dismissal from Torah. Who has time now for Torah? I signed with 2 witnesses. It's an obligation. Hashem say, Kach avir, breathe carefully, and Torah you still must learn. Okay.
The reward is twice?
Huh?
The reward.
The reward is twice.
Double.
Write your comments, we'll send it to Shulchan Aruch, maybe they'll put it in. So, someone who cannot learn because he doesn't know how to learn, or because he has no time. יספק לאחרים הלומדים, listen to this, I'm reading to you from Shulchan Aruch, will supply to other people that learn Torah, ותחשב לו כאילו לומד בעצמו. He will sponsor other people that learns Torah, and he will count that he himself learns. כמו שדרשו חכמים, like the words of Chazal, smach zvulun בצאתך, יששכר באוהליך. Then the Gaon Mivilna had comments over there. It says the source of it, it's in Bereshit Rabbah, chapter 99. Zvulun lechov yamim ishkon. Zvulun is by the oceans, by the beaches of the ocean. That's where he lives because he's conducting business, import, export. Hare Zvulun kodem leIsachar. Why the Torah? Why Zvulun got the blessing before Isachar? Isachar is a Talmid Chacham. Since when you give a rich person more respect than a Chacham? If one person is an Avrech Kolel 20 years learning yeshiva, and one businessman with his beautiful Rolex and nice tie, and his BMW key, they both come to Rav Chaim Kanievsky for a blessing. Who should the rabbi start to bless first? The businessman with his quarter yarmulke, or the Avrech that learns Torah 20 years? Who do you supposed to give more respect? The answer, of course, to the learner of the Torah. He comes a lot more before him. But here Yaakov Avinu gave Zvulun the blessing and Moshe before Issachar. Why? If a learner of Torah with a regular businessman, people coming, the learner of the Torah comes before. But if the business person sponsors Torah, so he has 2 against 1. He is also wealthy and respectful, because you have to respect the wealthy people, because Hashem wanted them to have money for whatever reason. And at the same time, he has the same Torah like him, or more. He's sponsored. Here you go. So Zvulun actually got the reward before Issachar. So from here we learn that the influence of the Torah is in this world. It's affecting a person. And I know what you're thinking. I know some people that support Torah, but they're nothing special in religion. You're right. Without supporting Torah, they will already be in jail for 30 years. You understand? It's true that they're nothing special. But without this merit, who knows where they would be? Who knows where they would be? Yes.
I'm only talking about the people who don't know how to learn, not those people who know how to.
Oh, now our genius friend is having a very good point. Very clever. Very clever. He come and catch one word from what the Shulchan Aruch say, and he has a very good question. He say, what did the Shulchan Aruch say? Someone that does not know how to learn will give money to someone that learns, and he would count like he learned. But you forgot there was another word over there that you skipped. And someone that cannot learn because he's busy with time. Meaning, businessman. Businessman.
He doesn't have full time, he still has the time.
Now the answer to you is, even a person that supports the entire world of Torah must still learn Torah day and night. Must. Something he must learn. Even read Tehillim also count like something. But he has to learn something. He cannot say, I'm supporting, it's okay, I don't need to open a book. No. He has to learn every day.
So what what happens if you can learn, let's say you're busy the way you described it, so you support, but you don't learn at all. Then you don't get the influence of the Torah like the other people who learn Torah.
Schar mitzvah, mitzvah. Schar avera, it's avera. What you do good, you get good. What you do bad, you get punished.
Is it possible that they're judging how much he's learning based on what Rambam said, which is 9 hours for somebody that's working, he's really busy?
In the time of the Rambam, someone that was a businessman used to learn 9 hours a day Torah. 9 hours a day.
Basing on that, if he's busy, then that means he should still learn 9 hours?
Based on the time of the Rambam, the obligation was to learn Torah, and the Rambam said that people that are business people, they learn 9 hours a day. Today, if the Rambam today would come to our world and see how busy the people with meetings and offices and how the world changed, and every second attacks and email and distraction, and the Rambam would say, oh, you know what, learn 9 minutes a day, I'm happy. That's better than nothing, you know. Baruch Hashem, we have the CDs and the apps. Do you know how much Torah people can learn from listening to lectures? You know, there are people who know so much Torah just from listening to audio lectures and videos every day. You have women, they can give you 5 hours straight and a lecture on every parasha just from all week listening to the radio. This rabbi, that rabbi, this one. It's constantly, all day in the kitchen, cutting cucumbers and learning Torah. You understand? Yes.
Rabbi, why do people dedicate their life to Torah?
A little bit louder.
Why do people go through poverty and dedicate their life to Torah? Let them just go to work, make some money, and stop. It's crazy.
If everybody will go to work, who's going to learn?
I have a few smart people, and the rest of them.
Nah. You know, your question is one rich person came to Rav Steinman and he gave him a check for how much? How much was the check? Ah? 1 million, first time, no? Other guesses? How much was the check for?
$50.
Huh? $50, I would bring it up in front of the camera to embarrass us as a nation. It was a very fat check. How much was the check? You know what, wait, before we get into the amount of the check, I'll tell you the whole story and then you'll decide. He came to Rav Steinman and he asked him your question. So Rabbi, there's a lot of religious people that needs to find a job. We need to train them in computers, in accounting, to be bookkeepers. I'm giving you this check for the religious people that cannot learn so good in yeshivot, that they should go and learn a job, that they should go and work. Here is the money. Rav Steinman answered him, take the check back, please, I'm not interested. The Gemara says that for every 1,000 people who comes to learn, one of them becomes a rabbi. One becomes a successful learner. One out of 1,000. So he said, based on the ratio right now, we need another few 100,000 learners to be able to get few more good rabbis to teach the world. So now you're coming to tell me that the 120,000 learners that we have in the world will shrink it to 60? We have to increase it to 500,000, to 1 million, to produce a lot more bright learners. The statistic is not so great. And he gave him back the check. Now tell me how much was the check.
10 million.
Huh? 10 million. Who said 100 million? One. $100 million check. He gave it back to him. You understand what it means, a tzaddik? If you see the level of faith and trust in Hashem that this tzaddik has, 102 years old. He said there was no coverage to the check. You know, I gotta tell you a story. One collector came to one rich guy and he said, I have to collect. How much you need? I need $100,000 from you. I need 100,000, I need 100,000, I need 100,000, he doesn't leave him alone all week. In the end, the guy said, you know what, just take the check and leave me alone. He gives him $100,000, he gives it to him and he left. The guy comes to the bank to cash the check. They told him, the check is insufficient, sir. He said, how much? Back in the time, today they don't give you information, but back in the time, 20 years ago, you could ask him how much is short, how much more money is missing in the account for me to be able to cash it. So they told him the check is short by $20,000. But this collector had a lot of other monies that he collected. So he said, okay. He made a deposit, $20,000 to that account, and cashed the check for $100,000. Now the rich man comes the next day, his account got wiped out. He called him up, he said, what did you do? He said, what did I do? What, you deposit the check? Yeah, why did you give me a check for? I didn't give it to you to deposit. I knew that I don't have the money. I was hoping your check will bounce. He said, it's your problem, not mine. Now they went to court, to Bet Din. The rich man claimed, I just wanted to give it to him that he would leave me alone because all week is disturbing me. The guy said, I'm very sorry, it's a legal document. Once you give it, you bind to it. Who's right?
No, he can collect the intent was to collect and the intent of the check supposed to be in a good faith to be paid. So he complied with both intentions by giving $20,000. Absolutely. No other opinions. It was a contract between two and it was exactly that. No way.
אם זה מתנה, יש הלכה לקחת מחזרה?
Now, which one count more? Someone that learns X amount and someone that supports a lot more than him. Let's say you learn 10 hours a day, 60 hours a week, 240 hours a month. And someone that supports you, so he gets the 240 from you, but he supports 9 others. So you get 2,400 hours of Torah sponsorship. But the other guy learns on his own 240. Who's considered higher? Huh? It's a lot of tricky questions here today.
Doesn't make sense, really. You can't buy heaven.
Huh?
Somebody who has money will just buy heaven, doesn't it?
No.
Yeah, you think it's that easy?
Sounds like a church.
How many people that has money run to buy mitzvot?
People do it.
1 out of 10,000? Where is the other 99999 people?
I guess they think it happened to the yeshiva. They think that's what they're doing.
I have news for you, my friend. Not only that the majority do not support Torah and yeshiva, even on their children's tuition they cheat. That they want to pay half.
Hashem doesn't want the money. That's what it is.
And then they build a $5 million home a week later. You understand? There are people that have 2 cars. 1 car to go pick up the kids from yeshiva, and 1 car for the rest of his business. Because once they're going to see that he comes with his Bentley to the yeshiva and he gets 50% discount, here goes the discount. You understand? Ay, ay, ay. So the answer is, why this question is very important. Because we want to know if someone that learns a lot of Torah, if someone who supports a lot of Torah, if you say that to learn by yourself is higher, then if he wants to close his business, sell it and retire, and to go and learn full time, is he going high or is going lower?
He cannot close the business.
He right now supports 10 people that sits and learn all man Torah. If he will sell his business, the 10 people will have to quit. But he will go and learn instead of them. Is that the interest of Hashem or not?
No, he cannot close.
So the answer is, for sure it's not the interest of Hashem. If 10 of his children learn or 1, he rather 10. Just like a father, no? Father has 10 boys. What would he want? 9 of them that learns and the one that doesn't learn, that they will switch? The 9 will go to work and the 1 will go to learn? What kind of a logic you have here? But the question is not what Hashem wants. The question is what's good for the actual person. Everybody has to take care of his own life. Chayecha kodmim. What's better, to support many or to go and learn on your own?
Depends who you are.
The answer is, it depends who you ask. The opinion of the majority of the rabbis is don't quit. Learn morning and evening, continue to support. We need supporters. The opinion of Rav Steinman, close everything and go to learn. Learning on your own will bring you to a level that you will never reach by supporting Torah. Personal level, that you're so close to Hashem. It will improve your midot. It will improve your honesty. It will improve your tefillah. It will improve your emunah. It will improve your compassion, your mercy. So many things. And that's the purpose. What's the purpose of life? Tikkun midot ze kol ha'adam. And the only way to improve yourself is through learning, not through supporting. Supporting, you earn. No question asked. You earn the reward. But to change from a monster into a tzaddik, only by learning. Musar and musar and musar, again and again, until you change.
How many lectures you give a day?
1 or 2.
How much you need to prepare yourself? So you don't have time.
No.
Now, let's say you bring every day 20 people to Ibal Tshuva.
Yeah. And they all learn.
And they're all coming to learn, yes.
Yes.
You're going to stop, you're going to learn, or you're going to continue?
No, people who makes Baalei Tshuva, there's no question asked here. You don't need to even doubt it. Definitely it's the most important thing in the history of the world to make Baalei Tshuva, by far. So there's not a question if you should make Baalei Tshuva or leave it. Obviously it's not an option. It's like asking the only doctor in the neighborhood. The only doctor in the neighborhood wants to retire and play golf. So everyone will die around him. He has a choice. And the lecture is learning. Huh?
The lecture is learning.
The lecture is learning also. That's besides the point. The lecture is actually learning. What is the lecture? You learn, you talk, it's Divrei Torah. Now, this coming parasha, Parashat Toldot, I spoke about it 2.5 hours last night. You have it online already. Speaking about the conflict between the Jews and the Goyim, the jealousy of the Goyim and the wealth of the Jews. What happened to Avraham, happened to Yitzchak, happened to their children until these days. Anti-Semitism, the source of it, where does it start in the Torah between Yaakov and Esav? The Holocaust that came out from the children of Esav, that started in the wound of Rivka. Lots of interesting things on last night's lecture. Today, I want to speak a few minutes about the Haftarah, the maftir of the parasha, that is coming this week. In the Haftarah, it's also speaking about Yaakov and Esav. Not surprisingly, the Haftarah always is similar to the subject of the parasha, because in the time the Romans made a decree that the Jews are not allowed to learn Torah and to read in the Torah, the Jews tricked them by asking, okay, so you don't allow us to learn Torah, but can we learn the words of people, the prophets, or the rabbis? They say, people, we don't care, you can read. Aval the Torah, and we'll not allow you to read. So the Jews took from the Tanakh similar subjects, and they put it in the right order in every week's parasha, that it will be memorized which parasha we used to read now. And then one day when the decree will be dismissed, we'll go back to our regular order. But since it took for many years until they were able to read back again in the Torah, a custom that became already spreads all over the world and everyone does it for years, even if it's not relevant anymore, you don't cancel it anymore. Why? It's already a way of life. You don't cancel it. Why you don't cancel it? Because if you begin to cancel things that everyone is used to do it, shortly after we will become like the Reform people. Change this, change that, change this. Today they marry Isaac and John as we speak. They're walking to the chuppah. That's what's happening today, understand? But it didn't start like this. It started that they changed one mitzvah of tzitzit 200 years ago. And today, Hashem Yirachem. The Navi Malachi, the last prophet that we had 2,000 and change years ago, some people say that he is actually Ezra. Did you know that or no? Malachi is Ezra. Some say. It's an argument. He said in the name of Hashem, even though Yaakov and Esav was born from the same mother, Hashem say, Yaakov I love, and Esav I hate. It's a clear verse in the Torah. Et Yaakov ahavti, ve'et Esav saneti. I hate Esav. When Hashem comes and declares that he hates a person that was born from the same Jewish mother, even though Judaism officially didn't start yet, but we were the Hebrews already. From the time of Avraham Avinu, we are already a special nation, right? Judaism officially started in Mount Sinai. There's a very tricky question that we ask in a seminar, and of course nobody knows the answer, because there's no clear answer to this question. But we want to get the people to think. We ask them two questions. First question we ask, who was the first Jew? And the arguments begin. Avraham, no, Yitzchak, no, Yaakov, his name was changed to Israel, not Yaakov, Moshe Rabbeinu, Noach, Adam HaRishon, everyone has an idea. Who was the first Jew? Avraham was a Jew or no? Huh? The Gemara said that the Avot were Bnei Noach. They ask how Avraham kept Shabbat. A goy that keeps Shabbat chayav mita. It's Gemara in Sanhedrin Nunchet Nuntet. The Gemara says goy sheshavat chayav mita. Goy shelomed Torah chayav mita. The Gemara says, so if Torah said that Avraham kept all my mitzvot, how did he keep Shabbat if he was a Ben Noach? Ben Noach is not allowed to keep Shabbat. Even a righteous goy is not allowed to keep Shabbat. Huh? Plus they ask, how did Avraham make his own tzitzit? Because if a goy make a tzitzit, it's not kosher. No, I gave you a hint. So the tzitzit that Avraham had, since he wasn't kosher, he was walking with that on Shabbat. That's carrying on Shabbat. That's one of the options. Believe me, this question sometimes sounds simple. You can argue about it for 100 years straight. It's very, very complicated, because no matter what answer you give, there's still a problem. Every answer you find, and I went over it a few years ago, you're left with a question. Sometimes you get a good answer. End of argument. That's it. After you read it, no more questions asked. But sometimes we wait until Mashiach comes to explain to us what does it mean. We still have a question. So we ask, who is the first Jew? Of course, nobody knows, no problem. Then we ask the Jews, the Israelis, or the Americans, we ask them, Ma oseh otcha Yehudi? What makes you a Jew? So everybody answer, Baruch Hashem, thank you for coming. Everybody answer, I was born to a Jewish mother. So the answer is, some converts, they were born to a non-Jewish mother, and they're still Jewish. So it's not the Ima. The mother doesn't make you Jewish. What else? So he say the second thing. Brit Milah. Muhammad also have Brit Milah. No? What else? Some say, I was born in Israel. The Druzim is also born in Israel, and the Arabs. Some say, I served in the Israeli army. I know it sounds silly, some of these answers, but this is actually what people answer. Half of the soldiers are Russian Goyim. It doesn't make them Jewish, because they serve in Golani or in Shirion. So what makes you a Jew? No? What makes a person a Jew? Huh?
Láttál lényelfókat?
I ask you another question. If we go here on Ocean Parkway, where all the religious people walk all day in an intersection somewhere, and every person that will ask, they come with a microphone, excuse me, sir, we are from channel, whatever, and we ask him, can you tell us the 10 Commandments by heart? You don't have over here, in some of the shuls, they have it. Baruch Hashem. So can you tell me the 10 Commandments by heart?
No.
Maybe 1 out of 100 will know. Right or wrong?
Right.
Then you ask them, tell me the 13 principles of Judaism by heart. And I'm talking people with beards. It sweeps the floor when they walk. Sweeps the floor. And a nice sombrero. And you ask them. And some of them are very, very strong in Gemara. No question asked. They learn Gemara all day for years. They're very sharp. 13 principles of Judaism by heart, also 1 out of 100. Now we understand why Mashiach doesn't come. Doesn't want to embarrass us. How are we going to show our face when Mashiach comes? Huh? Do you know that kids in yeshivot, elementary school, 8th grade, how old are they? 14? When you graduate elementary school, how old are you? 14? 14? 13? 13 you done with school? So I make a deal with you. Take all the American kids you know that finish elementary school, and the day they graduate, take Tfilat Shmona Esrei, that they pray 3 times a day since they are 6 years old. 6 to 13, 7 years they pray 3 times a day, 365 days a year, 1145 times every year. Let's say 1100 times a year. Multiply by 7, 8,000 times they read Tfilat Shmona Esrei. Tell them to explain the words of Tfilat Shmona Esrei. 1 maybe out of 100 knows. Or the explanation of Birkot HaShachar, the blessing of the morning. Nekavim, nekavim, chalulim, chalulim, pokeach ivrim, matir asurim, all these words. I'm not talking Israeli kids. Israeli, it's easier for them because half of it's already everyday language. They may know. You want to know whose fault it is? One is the level of education, or the program, or the plan. That's one problem. Second problem, that the kids, since they're young, the parents want to have a peace of mind. They don't have patience to entertain them. So what do? They let them play all day video games. All day like this. They don't have the mind to open a book. You have to beg them to read a book. No vocabulary, horrible spelling mistake. Baruch Hashem, now on the phones they have corrector, spelling. That's how we learn how to spell. Without it, how would we know how to spell? Because people don't read books anymore. When I was a kid, I wasn't exactly in Ponovich Yeshiva, but every day I finished a book. I used to go on my way home to the library, get a book, and from reading a lot, I learned very high-level Hebrew, modern Hebrew, from the learning of the book. And same thing in America. If you read a lot of books when you're young, even without school, your vocabulary and the level of your speech will be very impressive, which is very important in life. Because when you speak to people, they right away detect if you're intelligent or not by the vocabulary and by the way you speak. You understand? And most of the Americans that I talk to, they have horrible speech. They have problems. They don't know how to spell. You can see sometimes they said, even with the spelling check, still full of errors. Why? This is the level of the world. Everybody knows, in Israel, a lot of people knows English. Why? Not thanks to the school. Thanks to the movies, thanks to the music, and thanks to the computer. All the games is in English. Play again, go back, first screen, level. They learn a lot of words. Why? Because everything is in English. So the way of life. So the Malachi, the prophet Malachi in English, he says like this: even though Esav and Yaakov born from the same mother, I hate Esav. I will destroy his land. Even if they'll build it again, I will destroy it again. First, this is the answers to all the, what we call in Hebrew, Yefei Nefesh. You know what it means, Yefei Nefesh? Who knows what it means, Yefei Nefesh? Huh? Very good. Liberals. All the liberals and the people who likes to turn everything to sweet and delicious and merciful and whatever you want to call it. And they say Hashem loves every Jew. There's no such thing, punishment. Don't teach things like that. Preach with love. Hashem loves everyone. He loves the people that burn the Torah. He loved the Itzik and Avi that got married 5 minutes ago. He loved Madoff. He loved the people who torture the widows and the orphans. He loved the people who murder and the pedophile. He loves the Mechalelei Shabbat. He loved the lefties that helps the Arabs to kill us every day. He loved the newspaper reporters that write non-stop Lashon Hara and destroy people every minute in Israel. He loved them. Baloney. He cannot stand them. That's the truth. Enough with the nonsense. Enough. It doesn't matter how long is the beard of the person that tells you that Hashem loves everyone. Stand up and protest. Excuse me, you modify the Torah. We're not reform. It's not true. There are wicked people in the Torah that Hashem say, I hate them. Change the nonsense you teach. It's not true. Anybody disagree? Tell me why. Baruch Hashem, everyone is loyal here, except you. Go ahead.
God created everyone, no? So
Yeah.
He knows everyone has tests, and some people can't, they can't do it. So why would He hate someone for
his actions? For his actions. Not because of his beautiful eyes or ugly eyes, or this kind of body, or that kind of body, or how much money he has. No. God is not a racist. He doesn't love you based on your nationality, or your accent, or your beauty, or how much money you have in your bank account. That's not how it goes. People like and hate each other based on nonsense. That's a problem. But God doesn't love you because you're pretty, or ugly, or tall, or short. It doesn't work like that. If you listen to Him and you're grateful and you appreciate, you have a karat tov, you follow His instruction, everybody makes sins, everyone falls from time to time, He takes it into consideration, but the general direction is positive. I want to be a faithful servant of Hashem. I made a mistake, it kills my heart. I do vidui, I try to do tshuva, I give extra tzedakah. These are the people that Hashem loves. Believe me, even if they make sometimes big sins. But a person that is porek all, ungrateful, that only take and take and take, not only doesn't appreciate, he takes it and uses it against Hashem non-stop and make fun? How can Hashem like him? Someone that cooperates with the enemies of Israel, the Hamas, and help them to murder Jewish kids. How exactly you expect Hashem to like him? This liberal lefty that writes every day against the Israeli soldiers and against the Jews that protest, and he always takes their sides to help them to murder us more. How? It's a traitor. Do you know what's the difference between a regular sinner and a traitor? What's the difference between a sinner to a traitor?
One hurts himself and the other one hurts everybody.
That's true, but that's not what I was referring to. The difference is, the Gemara says that Chizkiyahu HaMelech, if I remember correctly, it was Chizkiyahu, he tied his father to ropes on a piece of like rhapsody and on a horse, and he dragged his body in his funeral. He dragged his body to humiliate his father's body in front of the whole nation. How can a tzaddik like this do such thing? The answer, because that's what you do to traitors. You betray the nation of Israel and Hashem. Traitor is a different story. Just a sinner, yetzer hara, desire, fine. You know, as we speak, we are now 10 days before the release of Jonathan Pollard. After 30 years of torture. You know? We, the Jewish people, the Israeli embassy in the United States, betrayed him. If they did not betray him, he would not go to jail. They locked the embassy door in front of him, knowing he was helping us, he's one of us, he gave his life for the Jewish nation. And they locked the embassy and he got caught. If he would make it in, they cannot touch him. Because once you're in the embassy soil, it's considered a different country. Nobody can touch you. And then if from the embassy you go into a diplomatic car that has diplomatic plates, they cannot touch you also on a car. It's breaking the international rules. So the Israelis could have smuggled him to Israel and then from there send him to Zimbabwe, calling him Menachem Levi, making him a name. It will be somewhere and that's it. That will be the end of it. After a month, everyone will forget about it.
It's not us, it's the Israelis.
The Israelis betrayed him and he suffered for 30 years the biggest torture ever. That's a traitor. Someone is helping you. Now what did he do? He did anything against America? No. He only told Israel things about Iran. He didn't come to spy against America. He only had information that America collected against Iran that they did not want to give to the Israelis for whatever reason, even though they're supposed to, because Israel share intelligence with them. So instead of them willingly giving information to Israel against their biggest enemy, Iran, they saw that they're not sharing, and he went and gave it to them. But he didn't give them information to a Arab country who hates America. No, he gave it to Israel. They have the same interest. And they put him, instead of 4 years in prison, 4 years should have been the punishment, 30 years. And now when he comes out, they refuse to let him go to Israel, Obama. Not only they torture him 30 years, they don't want him to go to Israel. Please tell me why. Give me one reason why they don't want. Why do they care?
On purpose.
Because they know if they would let him come from jail directly to Israel, they'll accept him as a hero. 20, 30,000 people come to the airport. The whole world would see how they're picking him on the shoulders with Israeli flags, Am Yisrael, Chai, you know. They already see it. They don't want it. It's not good for their diplomacy and international image.
Taliban is okay. Taliban is okay.
No?
For Taliban, those five.
For Taliban is fine. When Arafat came here, it's fine. Everything is fine.
הוא לא יתערב, היום היה נשום שהוא לא יתערב. הוא אמר לנו מה לא הולך להתערב. הם ייתנו לו כנראה,
Whatever, we'll see. Now, let's continue the Haftarah before we finish the introduction. How many times you heard this joke and it's still funny? Now, Hashem says, if they'll rebuild their land, I will destroy it again. And you, who is you? And you, my children of Israel, I love you like you are my children. So why don't you respect me like you should respect a father and a master? And if you're going to ask, why don't we respect you exactly? If you're going to dare to ask me, why don't we respect you? The answer is, you sacrifice defected sacrifices, the worst animals, not the superb. When someone finally volunteer to give something, he gives the worst. He has suits, he doesn't give the Talmid Yeshiva the best one. He gives the one with the holes, the one that he cannot close on his growing belly. Why don't you buy him something for $200-300 that you buy yourself? Take the leftover. Take the shoes that it's already... You understand? You give, you have to give from your heart. Just what you want you to have, you want the others to have. And what else Hashem says? I'm not interested in this kind of sacrifices. Even the goyim, when they sacrifice to their foolish idols, they choose the best animals to throw it to the garbage in front of their statues. And me, my children, they try to be cheap with me to cut. Someone that has superb cows and sheep in his cattle and he chooses the worst one to bring it to me to a sacrifice is a cursed person. It's not only sacrifices, it applies to today also. Back then there were sacrifices. Today, different things. You come to buy tefillin. We're not talking that you're poor. Poor is poor, he buys the cheapest. What can he do? Very rich guy. He comes to the Mercedes dealer every 3 months. Something new came up? Can I do a trade? Just lost $10,000 down payment. Can I do a trade? Yeah. Don't worry, Michael. Not you, don't worry. Don't worry, Isaac. Something comes up next week, we'll call you. As soon as the car arrives, he comes. Wow. Yeah, put this, but it's extra 10,000. Put it in. Extra 5,000. Put it in. This one, extra 20,000. It's special. The wheels are like this. Put it in. Anything new? 30,000 extra. Tomorrow he comes, Rabbi, my son has bar mitzvah next month. I want to buy tefillin. Which one you have? We have this, we have this, we have this, we have this. Don't you have cheaper? Why it's so expensive? 30,000 on a stupid car. Every 3 months, no problem. He goes in a restaurant. He finished everything that is in the fridge there. Put this on the fire, put everything. He cannot walk through the door. Mezuzah, don't you have cheaper one? What? $60-something? It's too much. But it takes 3-4 hours to write. What's too much? Take feather, makes the ink. 1 leather. 2 leather. 613 leather. It's a whole job. And the cloth costs more than $10. And to make the crowns another $3-4, and the computer check another $3-4, and the plastic another $2. And in the end, after all the expenses plus the Israeli IRS taxes is 50%, he left with $10 profit, the poor sofer, after 4 hours of work. $2, $3 an hour. Tony from Puerto Rico wash dishes, make 15. But the rabbi that writes the mezuzah in the end made $15 after 4 hours. Or 20, whatever it was. And the billionaire is complaining. Crooks! Everything is business in religion. Ay. That was your mezuzah. Now it enter history now. No. Hashem said, I'm going to do the same thing for you, measure for measure. You try to be cheap with me, I'll give you money and you try to save it, not to do what I told you to do. Your business will go down. Everything will go down until you do tshuva and change your behaving from this avon. Listen to my mitzvot. Make the entire nation of Israel do tshuva. Teach them Torah, because this is your job and that's why I put you in this world. Who did Hashem say it? Not to me. To every Jew. What's your job here? To make other Jews religious and to teach them Torah. So you can say, I don't know myself Torah. I'm going to teach others Torah. When I'll know one day Torah, maybe, then I'll teach someone else Torah. But how can I teach? I don't know how to make people religious. It's not an easy job. All these atheists with all their nonsense. You have to learn their garbage to not to fight with it. It's a lot of headache. And there's tons of different garbage. Christian garbage, Muslim garbage, Reform garbage, conservative garbage, atheist garbage, Chilonim garbage, modern Orthodox garbage, Orthodox garbage, else extra Orthodox garbage. Over there you also have all kinds of things. From all directions. To find the truth. So what's going on here? How does the Haftarah finish? The word of the prophet Malachi. That's it. This was the end of prophecy. End of prophecy. That's it. Since then there was no prophets. The last message that we got from prophets was this. It says like this. Vidatem כי שילחתי אליכם את המצווה הזאת. You should know that I gave you this מצווה. להיות בריתי את לוי אמר השם צבאות. To make my covenant with the Leviim. The Leviim are the ones who learn Torah. בריתי הייתה איתו החיים והשלום. My covenant with him is life and peace. ואתנם לו, I'm going to give it to him, to them. Mora v'iraeni. Why? That they should fear me. Who say that it's not good to fear Hashem? All the compliments and the gifts for one reason, that they should fear me. Here you go, I'm reading to you black and white. Mipnei shemi nichatu. When they hear my voice, they'll fall down. Why? I'm not their friends from high school. Torah emet hayta befihu. Real Torah should be in their mouth. Ve'avla lo nimtza bisfatav. No deceiving in his lips, on his lips. Beshalom uve'mishor alach iti. He went with me with peace and honesty, straight, not zigzagging left and right. Ve'rabim heshiv me'avon. And many Jews, he made them leave their sins and become righteous. Ki siftei kohen yishmeru da'at, the mouth of the Kohanim, my servants, my messengers, will reserve wisdom. Ve'torah yevakshu mipiu, and everyone would stand online to learn Torah from him. Ki malach Hashem tzvaot hu, a person that teach Torah and make other Jews become religious, for me is a holy angel. That's it. Now you decide if you want to be in this category or not. How? Only one way. The ordinary Jew, like I said, not everyone knows how to talk. Not everyone knows how to teach. Most people do not know. But those who do not know can turn the whole thing into a partnership. Whatever money they make, everything they should invest in kiruv, making Baalei Tshuva. But not just in unproductive kiruv. Kiruv that is productive with results. Again and again and again, and works. Boom, 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 one after the other. Or another Shomer Shabbat, another one, another one, another one, another one. Game of numbers. Not kiruv that you spend $6,000 to an American Jewish student to send him to Israel to see some holy sites. And he goes 2-3 weeks on your expense, $6,000, he come back to America, business as you, Christine, I had a beautiful trip. Next time I'll take you with me. What changed by him? He's going to keep Shabbat. He believes in Hashem B'chalal. He went and saw a trip, and somebody paid for the trip. One student, or I say student, regular Jew, it doesn't have to be student. One secular American that goes on a trip with all this kiruv organization that spends fortune on them. With every American that they send to Israel, I make 200 Baalei Tshuva with his money. Now you see the difference. $6,000, 200 Baalei Tshuva. 6,000 CDs, 6,000 people receive 30 hours of proofs. At least 200 will become religious. But the Satan, he knows where to send the money. Campus, another building, another trip. What do we get from this? Same thing I always scream about, Achnasat Sefer Torah. Just in these streets alone, from Prospect to Belt Parkway, you have more than 1,000 Sifrei Torah stuck in a basement collecting dust. Each one of them is $40,000 and up. You do the math. How many Jewish souls we could save with those Sifrei Torah that are neglected in basements? And by next week, it will be 1,050. There will be another 50 Achnasat Sifrei Torah around here. Every week, Achnasat Sefer Torah, Achnasat Sefer Torah. What's going on? What's going on? I started to explain that David HaMelech did not want to take from Arvan HaYevusi, Har HaMoriah for free. He wanted to pay full price. The Ari HaKadosh says, if you come to buy a religious object, tefillin, mezuzah, Sefer Torah, anything you need to buy for religion, Arbaat Aminim, whatever you need. If you argue with the seller to give you a discount, the Satan has permission to eat from the reward of your mitzvah. So you save $20 or $50, whatever. Jews, you know, they're business people. It's not really the $20 that he saves. And that's what makes him happy. If a poor person will come a minute later, I'll give him 100. It's not he's going home, he said to his wife, Sherry, yes, guess what? Instead of $1,000, I pay $950 on a tefillin. I'm such a good, I argue with the guy. He said, well, you're crazy. We're spending $50,000 a month on nonsense every month. You worry about the $50? You know the people that come with a Rolls Royce to the supermarket with $3 and $2.50 coupons and stand 50 minutes online to go and get some credit? This is the way the world is. It doesn't always make sense. So David HaMelech knew what the Ari HaKadosh wrote. When you do a mitzvah, Ari HaKadosh used to buy, he comes with the money, take whatever it costs. Doesn't ask how much. Whatever it costs, take. Why? He doesn't want any of the Sitra Achra to suck from his mitzvot. The Torah says, Reshit bikurei admatcha tavi bet Hashem Elokecha. The first growing fruits, the best that grows, you have to bring to the house of your God. What does it say, admatcha? It should just say, bring the first fruit that grows. No. From your own pocket, not from someone else. What grows by you, what costs you efforts and money, that's what I want you to sacrifice. Not from your brother. Even if your brother says, take from my trees, no problem. I'm not interested. I want you to have pain. When you give charity, you have to feel the pain. $100. $1,000. It has to burn. The Chazon Ish said it. If when you give a check, it does not burn the heart, the reward is small. Make sure the amount burns the heart. That you go outside, right away you light a cigarette to relax. What happened, Moshe? Talk to me in 10 minutes. Let me relax. I told you the story about the woman one time that called me up, that I had a lecture. She said, I need to meet with you before the lecture. I said, okay, I'll get there around that time. Wait for me outside, we'll talk. No, I don't want people to see that I'm talking to you. So can we meet a few blocks away in the parking lot of the bank? Right there? I said, okay, we'll meet by the bank. So I go over there. She tells me about the problem with her son, daughter, whatever the case was. All kinds of problems, complaints. She said, Rabbi, I want to give donations for the CD, when that was the first sentence, for $54. She lived in a $5 million house. $54. I said, very good, thank you very much. As we speak, you don't mind that today will be only 36? I said, no problem, 36. By the time we finished the conversation, she wrote 18. And when she gave the 18, you saw how she's about to cry. She made the words of the Chazon Ish. For her 18, it burns her heart. How a person that is stingy overcome this bad trait? Who knows? How you get rid of stinginess? Huh? No, how? When you have a weak muscle, what do? You make it work extra. So it becomes strong. The way to a person to stop being stingy is to come into a special treatment. What is the treatment? Every day he comes to the shul, he puts 1 quarter in. 1 quarter he can live with. A week he gives quarters, he still sleeps at night. Next week, 2 quarters. Now the pain begins. But after a week, after 7 times he put 2 quarters, he begins to get used to it. Everything you do in life, eventually you get used to it. No matter how horrible it is, you get used to it. After 7 days, 3 quarters. 4th week, 4 quarters. $1. Still kills him. 5th week, $1.25. No jokes. $6, $1.50. $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $20 every day. $50 every day, $500 every day, and he smiles all the way to the bank. Why? He got used to it. There's no other way. How does a person get rid of anger? Hot blood.
Of course.
All day. I had one guy, a businessman, he used to make women gowns. But the real fancy one. You know, those fancy ones that, well, he had Hong Kong, Manhattan, he had a nice office. One day he came to my lecture in Manhattan. One lecture, few hours, started to become religious. Then he moved out of Manhattan, but he still got to work in Manhattan. But he has all these models that work in his company for the dresses. A lot of non-Jewish models. After a year that he became religious, he started to put a black hat. Now he comes to Manhattan, to a place where all day people change clothes, all this goyot. He comes with a black hat. Why? To make a guard between him and the goyot over there. The black hat, I'm a rabbi, don't talk to me too much. The only problem is, when he walked into the building, the guard thought he became an Italian mafia with a hat like this. Then he comes inside, he said, but he had very, very hot blood, hot temper. You never saw in your life such thing. If you get this person angry, you're done. It's a trauma for life. He's getting so angry, he can pick up the table with all the plates and flip it in your face. This kind of angry people. It's boiling. Very good person, great heart, generous, emet, Shabbat, right away, he gave up all the nonsense, but anger, that's his problem in life. Everyone has one problem in life. This is it. So he told me, you want to hear a story? I say, yes. He said, you know, now in the office, this girl drives me crazy. I tell her, do this, she does the opposite, they don't understand anything. So every time I get angry, I take off the hat, because I don't want that to be Chilul Hashem. That I come with a black hat and scream like a wolf. So right away I take the black hat off and I run to attack one of the girls. So he told me, you know what happened yesterday? Everything is clear glasses, all the room. As soon as I took my black off and threw it on the table, all these goyot ran into the room and locked the door. They already got the point that someone is about to get chopped. How do you get rid of anger? No. One, you have to strengthen your emunah. You have to learn a lot about confidence in Hashem, faith. What's the second thing? You have to learn a lot of Torah. The more Torah you learn, the more it relaxes you. What's the third thing? You have to make a rule. What's the rule? The rule is every time you lose your temper, $100 penalty. That's what people understand. $100. $200. After a few weeks, when you feel it heavy in your pocket, you get the point. That's no other way. Every time. How do you get rid of pride? Pride. How do you get rid of pride? You always remind yourself, who am I? Soon the worms will eat me. When they throw me down in a hole, I'll be eaten by the worms. Why do I think I'm something special? Second, you look at the real great rabbis that lived in the history. You read a little bit about their life. And you say, how don't I shame of myself? I am not 1/1,000,000th of them, and I think I'm a big shot. And this greatest legend lived the most simple life. You read the life of Rav Moshe Feinstein. You read about Rav Ben Zion Abba Shaul. You read about the greatest people on our time, the greatest in the world, how humble they used to be. The more you read about it, the more you become like them. That's the way a person is. You identify with them. The Rambam says, I was on a boat with all the Arabs. This is 800 years ago. As I was laying down, one Arab came and made his bathroom on my face. And I opened up my eyes, and I did not say anything, and I did not do anything. Do you understand? To have such discipline, to control, to have emunah, it's all from Hashem. Someone that doesn't have emunah, that everything is from Hashem, is similar to a dog. Why similar to a dog and not to a pig or to a horse? Why to a dog? Because when you attack the dog attacks the stick, not you. For the dog, the stick that hits him, it's his enemy. He doesn't understand that the person that holds the stick, that's his enemy, not the dog, not the stick. You threw the stick away, the dog runs and barks for an hour on the stick. If somebody came and smacked you, right, it's him. But Hashem wanted you to wake up now for whatever reason. It wouldn't be him, it would be somebody else. It's not about him. If somebody stole from you, yes, you get upset. How did he dare to do such thing to me? But Hashem wanted you to lose money. I will finish with one final story. The Gemara says Rish Lakish used to be a gangster. Rish Lakish. Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish. And then one day he went on by the lake and he saw a beautiful woman swimming. Right away, what happened when a man goes by the lake and he sees such a thing? He became Superman. He jumped into the water, he swam all the way to the other side of the lake, and then the person that he thought is the woman, he actually turned to be a man. Rabbi Yochanan didn't have a beard. He didn't have a beard. So he had long peot in the lake from far, and it was very, very pretty face. So he told him, I know why you came all the way here. You thought I'm a woman, right? Shame on you. So he said to him, but don't worry. The good news is that I have a sister that she's a lot prettier than me. If you do tshuva, and you come to learn with me Torah in yeshiva every day, I'm going to make a shidduch between you and my sister. So he said, okay, I'll do it. He knew how to get him. How do you get a mafia guy to become religious? You got to give him something. He came to the yeshiva. He started to learn with him. Was very sharp. Slowly became a giant. Baruch Hashem. One day Rabbi Yochanan, the rabbi, he came and he's very concerned. He walked into the yeshiva and they tried to learn, but the head of the rabbi is not in the class. So the ex-gangster, he said to him, what happened, Rabbi? You're not the same. He said to him, I got mugged now. On my way to the yeshiva, people jumped on me, they stole my wallet. So he said to him, oh, where was it? He said, over there. I said, don't forget who I used to be. Give me an hour, I'll be back. He went on the street. Hey, you want to mess with me? No, you don't want to mess with me. Remember who I used to be? Yeah. What happened? 1 hour I give you to have the wallet in my hand. 2 minutes later, por favor, senor. Here you go. Now he came to the yeshiva. He gave it to Rabbi Yochanan. Ishtabach Shemo. He put the wallet in his pocket and started to learn like a tiger. That's the story. Now you tell me what's wrong with that story.
The guy came back to his balagan.
Torah Peshet that calls out.
What about the sister? He's going to lose it.
That's besides that he couldn't swim back. I didn't even get into it. But what does not make sense in this story? One at a time. Rega.
If not here, we'll lose it somewhere else. God wants him to lose the wallet.
I heard you.
Most time studying Torah by looking for the wallet.
That's a very good point. Let's say that it was lunch break. We don't have a kasha here. Yeah? If you lose your wallet, you're not upset?
It happens, whatever.
Fine, but you're upset. You know you deserve it. That's emunah. You're still upset. The answer, what's hard in this story, let me help you, is a biggest rabbi in the world that 11 of his children died. And he learned Torah as usual. He used to take the tooth from his last son and used to go to people who sit Shiva and say, you see, no problem, you lost one, I lost 10 or 11. This is the last one of my children. He did not lose his peace of mind. He was able to learn non-stop. He lost now $200-300 that was in the wallet. He cannot learn Torah. How can it be? He lost his son. He was able to learn as usual. Another son. Like the Klosenborg Rebbe, Zatzal. All his 11 children died in the Holocaust, one after the other. Did it make him stop being religious? No. He became stronger and stronger. He came to America on a boat with 400 men, and he said, I have an extra pair of tzitzit. I want to give it to one of you. But I don't know which one, so we're going to make a lottery. And one guy got up and he ripped his shirt from both sides. And he said, now I must have a tzitzit because I have 4 corners. He said to him, you're right, but I already announced that I'm going to make a lottery. I must do it. You must keep your word. But if you're such a tzaddik, I'm sure your number will come up. 400 guys on a boat after the Holocaust. They don't have nothing, no bags, no nothing. From all the numbers, the number of this guy came up. He gave him the extra tzitzit. Then they arrived to Union, New Jersey. He established himself a community. Hasidei Tzanz Klosenberg. And one time a person came to him to cry that he lost his son in the Holocaust. And they sit and cry for 40 minutes. The Rebbe and the student. Crying. So then when they finished, the guy said to the rabbi, wait a minute, why are you crying for me? We have to cry for you. You lost 11, I lost 1. Why are we crying for mine? We have a lot more to cry for you. You're much more miserable than me. So he said to him, Chas v'shalom, God forbid, I don't have any problem. I'm not miserable. I'm very happy. So he said to him, what is this? So it's a hypocrisy. You cry for me, you're pretending, and now when I say to you, you have a much bigger problem than me, you don't have a problem? So he said to him, when you come to me and I see how broken you are, I understand the level of your emunah where you are. Because your emunah is small, you suffer a lot. So because you suffer, I'm crying. But my emunah is in a different level. I don't suffer. I know soon I'm going to be with my kids in Olam Haba, in Gan Eden. I'm not worried. It's a timeout. Different kind of understanding. So we're going back to our story. So Rabbi Yochanan, 10 of his sons died. He stayed perfectly normal. Now $200-300 he lost and he cannot learn? The answer is, of course not. Really think Rabbi Yochanan care about the $200-300?
He's upset that somebody is a thief. That's okay.
No.
They could have killed him.
Nice try, but no. He said when a person loses money, that means he deserved it. That means I either stole, or I took interest, or I caused the Jew to lose money. If Hashem took from me these $200-300, that means I was guilty of a sin. How can I learn now? What sin did I do? That's what his mind was. Did I do this? Did I do that?
The sin is still there.
No, but now when he went and got him back the money, he realized it was only a test. He never lost the money. If you lose the money, then you know Hashem wanted it to lose you, and there's a reason why you lose money. That's why I told someone, it doesn't matter how you lose the money. Your lawyers rip you off. Your neighbor rip you off. Your ex-wife rip you off. Doesn't make a difference who rip you off. All it matters is that Hashem wanted you to take the money. Now what are the options? One, maybe it's not clean money. Second, maybe Hashem is testing you to see now if you have emunah or no. Third, you never gave tzedakah all your life. You have a lot of money from a maaser you didn't give. Hashem is cleaning it from your system. That's also possible. Fourth, you have so many other sins. You have to pay for them somehow. So Hashem is so nice and kind with you that He only takes a few $1,000s from you here and there. It could have been cancer, it could have been paralyzed, it could have been accidents, it could have been who knows what. 2 days ago in Queens, a whole house on construction that they built it, they're just about to finish the house, got burned in the middle, fire 10 floors to the sky, fire. 2 houses on the side also got burned and destroyed. Each house worth millions of dollars. By the Bukharian sections over there. All Jews. One house over there was sold 1 month ago. Look at the Ashgacha. The people that sold it a month after living there for years. A month ago they sold the house, they went somewhere else, the new tenant that got in, his house got burned. And now if the house get burned, even if you get a full amount of money from the insurance, that's the least of your problem, the money right now. It's your passports, it's all the pictures of your children, it's all the videos you ever took in your life, it's your laptop with all the information, it's years of works, it's all kinds of things that you have. It's some people hide a lot of cash. They had a lot of cash over the years, they hide it for, who knows, for days of Mashiach. You know, maybe they think when Mashiach comes, don't burn me, don't, here. Look how much I prepared for you. People hide cash. You know, they went in Mexico, they caught the head of the cartel. Did you hear how much money they found in his house? In cash? $1 billion in cash. All the walls of his house were not full from insulation, were all from stacks of $100 bills. Drawers, shelves, all the mansion. What was he collecting so much cash for?
It's good insulation.
That's the reason why every few years they change the way of the American dollar, $100 bill. Why they keep making new ones? Because the people that have dirty money, they cannot put it in a bank. They cannot bring $1 billion cash to the bank. Right away, Obama will give them a call. ¿Qué pasa, señor? What's going on here? So they stuck with the cash. So when they change the American dollar to a new one, they have X amount of year or two, they must get rid of all the old cash. And it all goes to the garbage. That's how they fight against dirty money. Otherwise, why they keep changing? Plus, there's a lot of counterfeit. They forge a lot of money on the market, so when you come to the bank to replace it, the machines will catch it. So the people that know they have fake money, they're not going to come to the bank. Eventually, it's become obsolete. Any questions before we finish?
It's not.
Huh?
In the U.S., the old bills are still good. It's not like in some places they cancel the old money.
You're right. The old bills, because it's only a few years old. But in Israel, for instance, once they change to a new shekel. Anybody in the country still have the old shekels? You come now to the bank, they laugh at you. What is this?
The old one, they pay more.
Any questions? Next Tuesday we'll see you Be'ezrat Hashem between 8 and 8:15. Thank you very much. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen ve'amen.